Hey guys, it's me, the Savvy Business Chick, and I'm back again with your live Q&A about all things home care, private duty nursing, or home health care. And this week I wanted to answer, hey, how are you? I wanted to go over a frequently asked question I get about, hey, thanks for joining, guys. What makes our nurses good business owners? So thank you for joining in. This will probably be a short session because I just want to get you inspired, whether you are interested in pursuing home care as a business option, or you are already in home care. So thanks for joining, and please do share this out. So today's topic, and please excuse if you hear a child in the background. Believe me, he's alive. He is he's just being a terrific too. So just to let you know, what gives me the authority to speak on this subject is myself. I've been in home care, actually home health care, for the past 15, a little bit over 15 years, almost 20 years actually. And I myself am not a nurse. And I was mentored by a nurse, a registered nurse who had been in the game, who had been a nurse for a long time. And she was a nurse before there were, hey, thanks for joining. She was a nurse before there were PTs, physical therapists. She was a nurse before there was OTs, occupational therapists. She was a nurse before there were PAs, physician's assistants. And so I got mentored, me being a non-nurse, by a nurse. So I grew to have great respect and love for nurses. And so wherever you are in owning or starting, running a successful home care, private duty nursing, home health care business, nurses are a key component for it. Now, a lot of nurses contact me because maybe they have already submitted their application, or they want to get started in home care. And if you go to my previous video, I break down the difference between home care, home health care, and private duty, sometimes often called private duty nursing. Again, I have been in home health care, which means I owned a medical home health care agency where I sent licensed nurses like a LPN. They're called LVNs in some other states, or if you're out of the United States, or registered nurses to people's homes. And the kind of patients that we took care of were they had chronic diseases. We did a lot of disease management. We did a lot of post-surgery. We did a lot of delivering somewhat of acute care. So thanks for joining. So let me get to the subject. And please feel free, let me put this down there. Please feel free to send me questions. To send me a question in the comments about home care, about starting a home care business. Sorry, I should type this first. Business, okay. Pin this comment. Okay, so please feel free, even if this is your first time joining me on live, and you have some kind of interest with starting or even marketing, or even just any other tough question that you may have about the home care industry, or starting a home health care, or private duty business, then please do post your question in a comment and I will get to it. If there are no comments by the time I end this, then then of course, then you can send it to me later via DM. So, do nurses make good business owners? Let me give you some information first. I believe that most nurses are attracted to home care, home health care, and the private duty industry as a business owner because, number one, they have worked in the field. But one thing that could be a challenge to that nurse who is now becoming a nurse boss or a nurse entrepreneur is that he or she knows nursing but now they have to learn business. And it's very different. Running a business and working as a nurse is very different. If you ever heard of this book, it's one book that I highly recommend to new aspiring business owners, entrepreneurs, and it's called The E-Myth. And it's a book that was written some time ago, but I'm seeing some people join on that I haven't seen in a while. So one thing that really helped me with that book, and I was already an entrepreneur, but when that book came out, is that it really breaks down when you get started in business. Sometimes you're still in employee mode. You're still in like acting. You may call yourself even a solopreneur, but you're really just self-employed. So you fire your boss and you started working still like an employee where you did not or you do not run your business like a business. And that is something that I see a lot of nurses do, that they have somewhat of a learning curve to run their business like a business, unlike someone who is not a nurse. Because there was a period of time where my mentor, like I told you, who my initial first mentor, who was a nurse, she tried to encourage me to go to nursing school. And thankfully I had, I listened to my inner spirit. I listened to my gut tell me, if I do that, then how am I going to have time to work on my business? And I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard this, but there's this phrase, working in your business and working on your business. So the nurse boss tends to think, when I can't find a nurse, or a nurse is acting up, I'm not going to go, do better with my recruiting, do better with my hiring, do better with my retention. That nurse thinks to go work the shift. Now just imagine, and he or she thinks to go work the shift because A, they can do it, and B, they know, thanks for joining, that they know the amount that they are billing for. So let's say, for example, they're billing $50 an hour. Let's just say, that's really hypothetical. They're billing $50 an hour and they're paying another nurse, the nurse that maybe did not show up, or the nurse that for some reason can't work, they're paying him or her $25 or $30 an hour. So that nurse boss now thinks, oh, I'll just pay. Instead of me paying, only getting $25 an hour, from me sending that nurse, now I get $50 an hour. So you see how that nurse boss, that nurse entrepreneur, that business owner, that she now easily shifted into an employee. She shifted into an employee thinking, wow, I will go work that shift. I'll do a way better job. The family will be happy that they did not, they didn't miss any hours, or they had someone to be with their loved one. And I'll go work the shift, and instead of me making $25, I'll make the whole $50. So here is where me as a mentor, a business coach, will come in and tell you, no, my dear, you didn't make $50 an hour. you lost probably $100 that for all those hours you worked. Let's say she worked 8 hours. You lost, let's say for example, you lost, I'm going to tell him or her that they lost $800. $100 an hour. Why? Because as the business owner, your time is more valuable than $50. So you shifted. I used to do sign language. You shifted from what your time. Remember, an employee thinks money for time. An entrepreneur, a business owner thinks, employee thinks I'm exchanging my time for money. A business owner, entrepreneur does not think like that. They know that their time is valuable. They know that when they are working on their business, when they're marketing their business, that their time is worth way more money than $50 an hour. Not to discount anybody making $50 an hour, and not to say that it is a small amount of money, but you know that if you took those same 8 hours and restructured your business, did a lot of things different than you would. Thanks for joining. You actually are creating and making your business more valuable than you would going to work that shift, because as you're working that shift, your mind is off of your business, and there could be other patients that are having fires per se while you're on that shift. So while you're on that shift, who's answering your phone? That's why I said she essentially lost $100 an hour, because it's like, who's answering your phone? Who's doing that intake? Who's approving billing? Who's doing your marketing? Who's doing this? Who's doing all these other essential things that need the business owner's oversight? So as much as I see a lot of great nurses start and build businesses that have high quality of care, and their service model is really great because they have that bedside manner. They know the industry. They know how to provide care. That there is a learning curve when it comes to them operating and running a business, and that is something that they need to be learning quickly, whether it's through taking classes. And I'm not saying go back to school, but you can take leadership classes. You can develop some of the skills that you may not be as strong in. I don't recommend that anyone go and try to address all of their weaknesses per se. I say pick, do like analysis, do an overview of what you're strong in and what you are not so strong in. It's considered a SWOT, SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's what SWOT stands for. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So your strengths, make a list of the things that you're strong in. Your weaknesses, make a strengths where you're weak in. The opportunities and the threats are kind of like in the middle. So from your strengths and your weaknesses, where are the opportunities? Okay, well, there's an opportunity for me to become a better leader. There's an opportunity for me to do this or do that. Then you list it out, and then you're going to hire out the things. Thanks for joining. You're going to hire out or delegate the areas that you cannot do yourself. Hey, thanks for joining. We're talking about all things home care, and specifically, do nurses make good bosses? So when I get a nurse who wants to start a home health care, private duty nursing business, I am looking at that person as a whole and wanting to help them with any area that they need to develop. So going back, do they make good bosses? Yes. He or she, a nurse, can be a great business owner. but they have to still learn. I find that they still have to learn more about being a business owner and not being a nurse. So they would want to do something that's more easier for them. And the easiest thing for a nurse is to do what he or she went to school the longest for, which is nursing. That a lot of times they tend not to understand how to market their business. They I had a client who, did not want to pay nurses a certain amount of money because, again, she was thinking like an employee, even though she had been in business for 8 years. Like, oh, if I send this person, this other nurse, or if I went, then I will show her that, it could be done with this amount of money. And that's just kind of like, as business owners, we're in the business to solve problems. We're in the business to solve problems and not create more problems for ourselves. So, hey, thanks for joining. If you have any questions about getting started in home care, home health care, private duty, please drop your question in the comment. Thanks. I am just going over some reasons, some ways that I believe that nurse a nurse will be successful in this business. It's definitely something that he or she is familiar with. I've heard countless stories of how nurses have gotten started in home care because they came upon, they found out what they were, the company was billing for, and they basically wanted the whole share. They're like, oh, I can do this. Nurses tend to know a host of other nurses from work, from school. Nurses have unique personalities, so I definitely feel like nurses, they know how to recruit. They have a great network. It's pretty tight. There is great respect in the nurse community. So if you are a nurse and you're trying to recruit a nurse, then they have like levels of respect, especially when they come into your office or they do any kind of onboarding where they know, okay, I'm going to listen to this nurse because he or she, they went through nursing school, they passed their boards. So you have a lot of advantages in this kind of business, but what you really need to know is how to run your business. So would you do well? Yes, I would say you would do well, but you would really need to know. I'm not saying go get an MBA, go, but definitely get some practical business courses so you can understand business. A lot of times when I'm talking to a new client who does not have any previous business experience, but they've just only been in the medical field, I really feel like I am like a college professor, explaining a lot of techniques, explaining a lot of things to them, and I don't mind that. But take that consideration for any business that you may be trying to start, whether it's home care or whether it's hair care. Do the same thing that I'm suggesting you. Hey, thanks for joining. Do this SWOT analysis that I am recommending. And remember, SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So write down, what are your strengths? What are your strengths in starting this kind of business? Not just business in general. What are your strengths? So again, like I said, the nurse, her strength is that she already knows the industry. She knows, she may know, over 500 nurses. So that's a strength. A weakness may be, she doesn't know how to use a computer, or she doesn't know how to make a website. So that's a strength, but there's also like an opportunity could be, oh, so and so's nurse friend that I know, her son does websites. So you kind of put things together on paper And I know we're in a digital world and we like to put stuff on computer, but sometimes pen and paper really just they hit the heart. Like when you're writing down, like when people say they're going to go journal, it hits the heart. It's almost like when you're writing that down, almost like it becomes so much more realer to you. So I definitely suggest you write down these things. And you want to do something like this before you write down your goals. Your goals come after the SWOT analysis, right? So, nurses, I want to encourage you that there also, and here are three other businesses that I think nurses will be good. So if you're on a aspiring entrepreneur, or and you're a nurse, or you know someone that's a nurse, please do tag them into this. I will post a replay. But I specifically want to advocate for people to go into home care. There's a lot of the current administration is going to push, guys. It's going to push for home care workers and people on the front line as they're considering nurses to make more money. And so if they're going to give that industry a pay raise, right? They're going to give that industry a pay raise, then that means that you can become more profitable. So what you need to do is you need to just position yourself so that you can be a recipient of the profits that will come from running that kind of business. And that's why I really wanted to stress that running if you don't run your business like a business in an efficient manner, then you could be making a lot of money and not be profitable. And I actually could be honest with you guys and say that I had 2-3 years like that. And I had to bring in someone from the outside to help, where it was bringing in was making a lot of money, but sorry for my son, was making a lot of money. The revenue was high, but at the end of the year, the profit was like, huh? So, in closing, if I don't see anyone asking any questions, I wanted to share that nurses can make they can make really good consultants. It's a lot of companies that will hire a nurse as a consultant. They could be a consultant for their company. It could be a consultant for, maybe a product that they want to develop. So, building yourself as a consultant, you just need to add some additional skills under your belt. You will have your skills as a nurse, but then you also need to know how to generate a report, maybe do some Excel, do some other things like that. Medical product sales, if you want to get into sales, which sales, people they don't really like doing sales, but sales can actually generate a lot of income. The amount of revenue or profit you can get from doing sales is pretty high. And my last tip is wellness. And you can niche that out. We only think about wellness coaches like a personal trainer or nutritionist, but there are people who have chronic diseases that they need a medical professional to help them. And that's why I say you can partner with a doctor, that and encourage them to offer this program to some of their patients. And maybe they have you can work with an endocrinologist. I think that's the one for for diabetes, and become like a wellness coach. Maybe you're a healthy person, maybe you're a healthy eater, but you would be like a medical wellness coach. So that's just that was just 3 other ideas I just wanted to share with you guys. If you are a nurse boss or a nurse and you want to encourage him or her to go the entrepreneur role, Lastly, it's a good idea to white label an existing home care. Is it a good idea to? So Stephen has a question. Is it a good idea to white label an existing home care business? I'm not sure if you can white label an existing home care business. They have opportunities for franchises. Sorry again for my son. I being that I started from scratch, I am not a fan of franchises. Reason why I'm not a fan of franchises is because depending on what state you're in, you're buying you're buying the name, you're and they claim that you're buying, you have like marketing and stuff like that, but their marketing is not as strong as the marketing you could do, and then they put limits on what you can and cannot do based upon the brand. So let's say, for example, if you wanted to, niche, it's almost like being like in a network, what you call those, not pyramid, being a network marketer, where you can't go outside the lines. You can't go outside of the box. Thanks for joining. So, getting back to your question, no, you can't white label it. That would be more like buying a franchise. With the franchise, you have to have a certain amount of money, which when you invest in that business, they give you support, they give you policies, they give you the brand name, they give you the brand image. I have a friend who bought this agency called Visiting Nurses. It's very, very big, very, very popular. What she told me, being successful, is that she would never do it again, because she did not know at the time that in our state, I'm out right outside of DC, I'm in Maryland. In our state, like, you're zoned out. So if she got a referral from, let's say, for example, Baltimore, and her office is closer to DC, she could not get that referral, and that referral could have been private pay or whatever, because that's in another visiting angels area. So she couldn't go into that area and service. She would have to give that to that other agency. And so it's kind of not fair, because it's like, she's doing her marketing, and based upon her marketing, they called her, not the other agency. So that part was kind of not fair. And then she said that they had a lot of other limitations that just kind of weren't cool. But other than that, depending on your state, depending on what state you're in, some places they don't even require that. So it's better to start your own than franchise. Of course, yes, Stephen. It's better to start your own, depending on where you're located. The rules and regulations for starting a home care agency are not as challenging. Like, I don't have the list in front of me, but like, I was talking to someone, so I do know, like, off the top of my head, like, Mississippi does not have any laws. So you can literally just start it tomorrow, and just start advertising to start a home care agency. I'm going to be posting some things this month about home care, getting you guys interested, getting you familiar with what kind of clients would be ideal if you started a home care. I posted something, I think yesterday, about companion care, and I promise you I'll end with this. So companion care is a service. It's a part of home care. So what I said in that post was, okay, now we're in a post-COVID world, right? And imagine going to someone's house, let's say two let's say 2 times a week for 4 hours each time. So that's 8 hours a week. So you got 8 hours a week. But let's put 8 hours a week times 100. Let's say 100 clients. So you got 800. So 100 clients. You know, you're like, oh, how am I going to get 800 clients? Work with me. Work with me. Because just imagine 100 clients. It's like thousands, thousands of seniors in each area, right? 100, 800, 800. These are hours. 800 hours, right? And let's just say times 25. Well, no, let's say times $20. Right now, you are at $10,000. $10,000 a month. As my mentor would say, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? 10,000 a month. I can help you get to the 100 clients. But just imagine, you only have to give them 8 hours a day. 8 hours. 8 hours a week, rather. So I want y'all to mull that over. And what companion care is what I was trying to say in my post. You can go back after this video. I'm going to post this video. Is there are plenty of seniors right now. They're lonely. They haven't had anybody visit them because of COVID. It's springtime. It's summertime. They want to go for a walk. They want people to visit them. They need mental stimulation. They want companionship. And so you would just be sending a friendly caregiver to go, play a game, chat it up, cook a meal, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, I have another post. I probably will post it Friday about how many seniors make up our population. That's what people are always talking about. Baby boomers, baby boomers, baby boomers. Well, baby boomers, guys, reason why they call them the baby boomers is because that generation, it was like a stupid amount. I'm using the word stupid. A ridiculous amount of children born in that generation. And so it was a big boom, big boom and so all of those people are aging now. And I can honestly say that my first mentor taught me to focus on the pediatric. So I'm really skilled with pediatric. But these baby boomers, guys, they need our help. And you can have a service that can help them. And at the sum of $10,000 a month, you'll be right underneath $1 million. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this live Q&A on home care, about nurses, about companion care, about being a business owner. Companion care, yes, companion care. Companion care, guys. It's just one service. One service out of other things that can be offered in home care. And that would go, Stephen, that would go under non-medical. So companion care is non-medical. The clients that I was serving were considered medical, meaning they needed a skilled nurse to do other functions. But I hope you guys found this helpful. Like I said, tag someone on this video. I'm about to post a replay. And if you have any other questions, feel free to send me a message or drop it in the comments. Thanks so much, guys. Have a wonderful day. Again, this is Sean, aka the Savvy Business Chick, making sure you know your purpose and destiny in the marketplace. What is your purpose in the marketplace? Are you supposed to be an entrepreneur? I want you to get in position. If you're supposed to be an entrepreneur, now is the time, because there's a lot of people that's filing for unemployment. But guess what? They got an extra $600. Well, no, $300 now. Took $300. They got money. They got money to afford your service. They do. I know people don't probably like to say that, but it is true. I know a lot of people that aren't broke during this pandemic. Okay, bye guys.